Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back myself to my channel Studio One, Butterfly, Bugs and more. As you might know, for the people who has watched my videos, I have a different approach about the most of the channel that only magnify and explain rightly things about DAW, about Studio One, but they never ever talk about problems. I like to talk about problems. Because you know, when you go to this very nicely channel of explanation or Facebook group, it's like living on a cloud where everything works fine, is smooth, and just one other feature that brings you up. The reality is different. It's just different because the reality is full of problems sometimes, and the more complex the system is, we all have different systems, and so they play a lot about it. Because the problem of these people, and also the Presonus customer care, which is fantastic for the how fast they reply, they in the end can barely solve problems, and they can barely solve them because they are biased. They are biased. They start from the point that it's no Studio One fault. Everything that happens is due to a third-party plugin, configuration of the audio, what the compatibility with something that you are using, the antivirus, the VPN installed, not being used. They are very funny approach, you know, because they want the authorization to be always online for the authorization. Some plugins, I'm not sure about Studio One, you know, as I'm back, as I say, since few days. But then you don't have to use antivirus. What world are they living in? It feels to me like they're living in the same world of music, like the technicality, like you know, pretend that someone is connected to the internet and not to have an antivirus. So I call them, and this is refer more to groups. I don't call them users. Maybe they are in terms that they use it, but in terms of talking, they are fan, not users, because users can discern between good things, great things in the program, and things that are less good or that don't work at all. And these people, they're only the fan. They never question. It's always everything so good, and most of the times are the one use the least professional tool. Like, for instance, stock plugins. Now, the stock plugins might be fantastic in Studio One. I don't know. I don't even look at them because I know I have mine, which I can use in whatever DAW I go. And by the way, they're better. Professionals use those. And now you might be wondering, why? Are you a professional? Yes, I am. In these years of that I was missing, I made an album. My artist name is Giuliano. If you want, you can check it out. Searching Giuliano Music Root is easier. I got videos, and it happened to me to be awarded at the Independent Music Awards as Best Producer for 2018 for my EP, by a committee whose head was Tom Waits and other Terence Trent D'Arby, someone from Aerosmith, I guess. I don't really remember. Big names, some jazz names, very big jazz names. So can I define me? So that means that pretty much I do produce, and I do it quite well. That doesn't mean I'm not venting out at all. This is not my purpose at all. I'm just saying, okay, there are a lot of producers that they are so good, okay, But I got this certification, let's call it this way, that I can produce. And so you are listening to a guy who probably knows what he's talking about. Then, as I say, every situation is different, and so probably the case might not be the same for other people. But this specific video, I'm sorry, because it's the first one after so long, and I'm being a bit abused in this group. I've been called liar. I've been called, another guy just answered to me, read the manual. Like a manual would write about issues like this. Or at least he should have said, "Oh, go to check out the troubleshooting. Maybe you will find an answer." Of course, I wouldn't, but it would have been a rational answer. But read better. Maybe you can read better the manual. Is ridiculous. What I have to read the manual for? To understand scenes? Or, oh my God, it's really like. I didn't even answer, it's so childish. And anyway, I've been told shame on you, which is not really something nice to be heard. And the video, now I will stop here, and I will, in a rudimental way, with just an iPad showing my screen, I will do one shot video in order to be clear, out of chance of manipulation. I will let you see all my system. And this video is very, very important for people who owns a silicon Macintosh computer. Mac One, I got the Mac One Plus, because you will discover something really unsuspectable. Hello, here I am on the other side of the screen. So this is my computer, which is runs on Monterey, and is Mac Studio 2022 with 128 gigabytes of RAM. Not a joke. Should give really high performances. All of this runs, the interface is a BMB4 Burl, which is one of the more respected brand in audio, but they runs on SoundGrid, which I don't know if it's so very well respected, because I used to have a MADI system, always with Burl, and with USB 2 interface, I think I had a better performance. I don't know. I don't see where all those LAN fast goes. Maybe it goes to have a walk. I don't know. But anyway, this is my system. It can be this the problem. I don't know. I can never know. But let's go to see, and let's load Studio One. And now it's loading the plugins, the monsters, the evil third-part plugins on iLok. So it never gave me a problem in 15 years. But I wouldn't say that it was got a problem is a liar, because maybe he's fighting against it. He's having problem. It's very tough to have problem in the middle of a production and not to do what not to do what to do. So okay, I'm loading this scratch song, which will be completely different in the end. But I have to say that the situation was way worse when I started seeing the problems, because now you will see there are many open instruments, and before there was only one instrument. And I will publish the video just after this one. Is an 8-9 seconds video where it shows the way it goes, and now it's actually doing much better. I don't know why, I cannot tell it, but let's see how does it do now with these 4 instruments loaded. Those are bypassed. By the way, I want you to show that I'm not yet confident with the where it is. Oh my God. I just switch back. Okay, here you can see that the hidden tracks are all disabled, so they should be interfering at all with the performance. Let's see how the performance goes though. Okay, not so bad, not so bad. It lasted, the crackle lasted 3-4 seconds. Is it optimal? Is it a good way of working? I don't think so. The funny thing is that if probably now it goes well. No. No. Worse, way worse. Way worse. Ah, now it's getting fixed. Okay. I don't know how long it takes to get fixed. But if start, yeah. The thing is, when you start right away or you change position, it is not doing it anymore. So, you know, is that feasible? No, it's not. It's not, because you want to go back to the same part, and I'll show you why it is not as well. You know, how can we ever workable the situation? If I go to change a MIDI note, do you understand? Oh, it's doing fine now because I just started. But sometimes, you know, you might be thinking, you might be moving other notes, you know, and you hear this stuff. It's just unworkable in my opinion. I don't know if you guys like it. And on such computer, it's really a shame that this happens with 4 instruments open and a few plugins here. F3. Yeah, I mean, there are all console 1, they're empty actually, they don't take anything. And there are some Sonox, some UAD that don't even take power from the CPU, as they've got the DSP. So for the purpose of this video is mainly not to get revenge about this guy that called me liar, that I should be ashamed, I don't know about what, but because it can actually help lots of users that have a Mac 1 Pro, a Mac 1 computer. How? I will show you now. I discovered it myself. So let's quit Studio One. And I discovered it myself because the technical was not helping, because they're biased, as I told you, and they were say, oh, you gotta find the plugins that is causing all of this, there surely is, or the interface, or you gotta talk. No, at least not at this point. Then we'll see when the song, I don't know if this solves completely the problems actually, because of course, you know, we'll see when the song gets gets busier, what's going to happen. Maybe the Mac one, you know, that maybe, I don't know. I want to show you my solution to this. You just go here on the application folder, right click on Studio One, get info, and magically you click open with Rosetta, which was not supposed to be, because Studio One market itself as the first DAW to be M1 compatible. Compatible how? That you can open the program? Well, once you open the program, you have to work. And the first time this guy give me like a cheater, like a it says, oh, you say there are no plugins open. There are. And I say, they're all disabled, because at that time they were all disabled. And say, oh, the Spire is on. My God, I have to work. I have to make my music from something. You know, I should be able to have one plugin open and say, oh, change. No, it was doing the same with Diva or any intensive plugin I have. So now we load back with using Rosetta, the same song, the same very song, is the only one in the recent, and we'll see how worse it does with this interface in between the DAW and the computer, the CPU. It should be doing worse, right? The logic say it should get worse, and this is why people are building on native Mac 1. And I can tell you that it's possible. I didn't really count off, but it seems like it takes longer to load the song. But let's see how worst how badly performs by using Rosetta, which is way more important than loading time. It seems like it's almost done, so this is the same song, just open with Rosetta. Let's hear it. Perfect. Perfect. Let's go right away to another place. Perfect. 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 Now I say that when we switch back and forth, also with on M1 native, it does pretty well. But here, actually, even if wait sometimes, we will have nothing else but the same result. Perfect. Perfect. But let's go here and see if it works fine also here. Oh my god, I'm listening to the note. I'm not listening pop, clicks, crackle, and it works fine. Nice, that note, right? I'll keep it there, you know. So guys, as I say, this could be a very important video because nobody has ever talked about it. But actually, Studio One at this stage, maybe when it gets cluttered with things, I don't know, it will work better on M1 native. I find it very difficult to believe, but or maybe is it the interface that does this problem? If you run Studio One, on this interface with the it gives problem. But if you use Rosetta, it doesn't make any sense, guys, to me. But I may be wrong. But one thing is for sure, I cannot be called cheater. I cannot be called cheater. I want to keep this note, it's a reminder. I cannot be called cheater. I have nothing to shame about it. I'm actually giving a very good hint to people that might be having the same trouble on Studio One, going straight forward, of course, to be native, not to flag Rosetta. Because actually one of the reasons I'm back to Studio One, and I will see if I'll stay, because it depends on how the performance. Studio One is very well known to be hard on CPU. It's written everywhere. Any blog says it. So how hard it impacts, that will be very important for me, besides the functionality being steady, being reliable. But at this point, anyway, if you are on Studio One and if you are on Mac One, guys, the solution is open it with Rosetta the way I showed it. And for the guy who insult me, this guy read the manual, I don't need to read the manual. I don't need it. What do you want to find on the manual? How to use the scene, or how to press F3 and go here. What are you talking about, guys? And I want to say one last thing. I'm sorry for my venting out, but I was very stressed yesterday because I could not work, and I have to be called liars, straight up liars, by the moderator. What moderator is this guy? Is it a moderator? Sometimes someone that start insulting because I have a problem? Maybe it's my own problem only. I cannot be sure. I doubt it. I cannot be sure. But I do have this problem. There's no need to insult me. So my next idea is actually to form a group on Facebook, Studio One, Butterfly, Bugs and More, like here, where everybody can talk about problems and not be, being mistreated like I am. And I've already been kicked out by the original, by the Facebook group hold by prisoners itself, because I was being harassed all the time, because I replied, they say, oh, you are just a piece of shit, stuff like this, you know, and I was just replying, why guys you have to talk like this? I'm just exposing my point of view on things, you know. And so I think we need to break this assault, this scare that everybody has. Nobody intervened in this blog, because the moderator answered me and they're all scared to be kicked out. Well, you don't have to be scared of getting kicked out. Maybe you won't. Maybe it's not like be Mussolini and Hitler behavior as the prisoners group guys was. Of course, he kicked me out after me being insulted and reply nicely. I've been kicked out. Do you understand? So I think we should be able to freely say things, and we can connect each other on some particular, and when we converge on something that is really needed, talking about problems more, and when we converge on some functionality that it could be good for Studio One, going on feature requests and put all of our likes all the way in, so that we can have this functionality implemented. If we, of course, we won't agree almost on anything, because everybody's got a different usage of a way of using it, a DAW. But this is this is an adult speech, not saying shame on you, you're a straight up liar. Straight up liar, it's not me. The shame is not on me. Do you guys know who's got the shame now? Thank you for listening. I hope it's been helpful, even long, and I'm sorry for venting out all this stuff. I needed to do it. And next video, I hope it'll be way shorter. And actually, I hope to do very short, very few videos, because basically I concentrate on problems, and I would like not to have problems. I would like to make one to be fixed. You know, I wished that by magic today I press and there was no, but unfortunately it wasn't. And I'm not ashamed. And somebody else should. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye.